So, yeah, right, so first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. We say that on our person, Elohim Agri, Musana, ruler, or teachers, our person in truth. I would say salutations, so the accommodated pushing within our truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season or season with Shalom. And once again, going into a video here, and let's basically touch on upon the MOTB. Now, no matter where it is you look, no matter where it is you turn to, no matter which country you look at, the news you may look at in that particular country, you know, they are all speaking about going cashless. They are all speaking about that system, that cashless system. They are all speaking about bringing a particular system to use, right? Talking about that cashless system, right? You hear the 15-minute cities. You heard stuff about getting rid of as I say, cashless, getting rid of the paper dollar, and getting rid of many other stuff, right? Getting rid of your ID cards, paying the ID inside of you, right? Which will go into the MOTB, which will go into the next piece. It's going into what? To the chip, right? But you look east, you look west, you look north, you look south, right? You look at Europe, you look at America, you look at Australia, you look in the Caribbean here. All of these places are speaking about going cashless. Jamaica was recently talking about going cashless. Today, there's news, but this was 22 hours ago, and Trinidad have been speaking about going cashless for the longest while, right? It actually written into the law about the RFID chip, right? But they've been talking about it for a good, since the beginning of the year, or since last year. They wanted to push it as fast as they can, right? So, as you can see, majority of these places all around the world, they're already changing the system to go what? To go cashless. Just like, because what they would do is just follow these other big nations and so forth, right? Like these small places here, they would follow the big nations. As a matter of fact, they have to, right? But this also goes for these just accounts that are speaking about when they're going into the Revelation 13 and speaking about the mark of the beast, right? And so some of those guys saying the mark is sin, some are saying some other stuff. You know, also these Christians are speaking about the mark being some other bullshitters want to say the mark to be when the signs are right before their eyes. But again, they choose not to believe. But the question still stands: when the RFID chip become mandatory, are you guys going to take it or not? Since you guys are teaching that the MOTB, right, is not a chip. It's not that. Some of you all teaching is sin. Some of you all teaching is the law. Some of you all teaching is John 3:16 and all this other stuff. Well, the question still stands and is yet to be answered. When this thing become mandatory, right, and you have to take something, and you have to literally take something into your hand or in your forehead, right, or any part of your body, are you guys going to take it or not? Are you guys going to take that chip or not, right? So going into this article here, it's an time for Trinidad and Tobago to go cashless, right? It's a Minister of Finance, Imbert, speaks during the launch of National Finance Inclusion Survey Report, right? 2023 at Tower D International Waterfront Complex, Ryson Road, Port of Spain, on August 20th, right? So this, as you can see, right, it's a Finance Minister, Imbert, it's supporting moves by the TT International Finance Center to push Trinidad and Tobago towards becoming cashless society. He spoke on August 20th at the National Finance Inclusion Survey Report 2023, right? So this was, so he speak on 2023. So that was basically a year ago, and it came back today, right? So this was 22 hours ago. So you can see how they're pushing it, right? It's the International Waterfront Complex, right? So, and just to make a point, they're not pushing this out just so. They are seeing all these rest of nations and all these rest of countries doing it, talking about becoming cashless, talking about implementing the system, right? And this is why, let me bring the script right here, right? Let me go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 39, verse 1. It says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies." And this is why to be occupied in prophecies, because you see the prophecies right before your eyes, right? And if you're not occupied in it, majority of people saw this saw this news, and I sure to bypass it. And and sometimes some of these news, I hope they don't have the comments, but I would like to see some of the comments that was from some of the people that would have seen this article, right? But it's such an important. But going back to the scripture, it's such an important thing to be occupied in prophecies. You have to be watching. It's a must, because these kind of things it leading into a major prophecy, right? Which is going into Revelation 13, right? Which is going into it. It's a reason. It's not coincidence that majority of these places around the world are talking about becoming cashless, right? It's not. It's not. It's a reason why they're doing it. It's a reason why all these weak and strong nations talking about doing it. They want to literally get rid of that paper dollar. Now, even with that being said, our country, right, Trinidad and Tobago here, they literally wanted to make a change, right? Was a change, I believe, is the coat of arms. But it always have a trick behind everything that the wicked do, right? And it's just going back straight to this, because if they change the coat of arms, you would have to go and change your money and all this other stuff. So what they would do is try to tell you, here we're going on. You don't need to come and stand up on a line and try to change your money. Nah, just go cashless one time. So you see the tricks of the wicked, right? The tricks that are they're putting forward, and that is why you need to be occupied, right? To be occupied, we coming into those times. Matter of fact, we in those times, right? So it's he spoke on August 20th at the National Financial Inclusion Survey report launched at the Tower D International Waterfront Complex, Ryson Road. Financial Services Ombudsman Dominic Stoddard revealed that 21% of the population still does not use the formal banking system, which is true, right? Because there are plenty of people here that don't use the banking system, right? But this system that they want to implement, you would have to go. So even if you're not using, so if you're in this 21% that's not using the banking system right now, when it becomes cashless, you would have to use the system. That is why you see some of the articles that coming out was I believe it was Klaus Schwab, right? He made a statement stating that if you don't follow the system that they are bringing, right, you will become an outcast to society, and that you wouldn't be able to buy or sell. And that's literally going into him stating that, right? It's literally going into the MOTB. So that 21%, they would now have to, in order to integrate into society, in order to buy or sell, now they would have to come into the system, right? And you don't know, within the system, you would have to have that mark, right? Which goes back to what? To the RFID, right? Some of these guys, they're literally reading the scriptures and they're going off on it. Some people saying sin. How are you going to use sin to buy or sell? When is sin going to go into your hand? I saw some video, I believe it was IUIC, where he said the hand is the Lord and the forehead is Satan, and this kind of madness. What is that? There's the scripture say, "Let no man deceive you through philosophy," right? What's that? Talking about the hand being Satan and the hand being the Lord and the head being Satan, or something along those lines, right? Let me go now. Let me go to the Revelation 13. This Revelation chapter 13, and I'm going to read from verse 13, verse 15. It says, And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right? And he had to come into the system. You can't steal. Just like this 21% here, believing that no, they could do it now because you can get paid in cash, and you can just literally go and you can still go and buy. You don't need to go to the bank. And there are plenty. Even I myself, if I sometimes you do our work, you don't go to the bank. You just take the money cash, right? And you're able to go and use it. Now this 21%, when they change the stuff and they bring in this cashless society, you have to use what it is they have. So you see how it is. You see how it is to go in and now, in order to buy or sell, you would have to have the thing that required to do it, right? And that goes now into the 16, right? And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand. So you see how it is here. 21% of population still doesn't use the formal banking system. So it does show you that as a state in the scripture say, he calls it all. So that 21% would have to be included into it. It have no more dodging the system. You would be in the system, right? That now you would have to receive that mark, right? You would have to receive that mark. So this goes to show that these people when they're breaking these other camps, when they're breaking on the Revelation 13, right? And they're saying that the mark is sin, that is madness. So how are you going to use sin to buy? But nonetheless, it says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in the foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. Now, you could go and look up the RFID, and there's a bunch of places. Sweden, I think Sweden is the most cheap place. Austria, I believe Austria is the next place as well. Places in America, businesses in America, they are chipping their employees. You see Elon Musk being one of the biggest person to push the chips, making people into biohumans, putting chips into people. What again by something else I want to mention, many other things that are outside there that are pushing the chip, right? To receive a mark in the right hand or in the foreheads. It's saying that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? So when they read that 21%, they know they could still buy because we running on a system that requires it to have cash, right, or a card. And they're saying they do not use the formal banking system, so that means the majority of the times they would use cash. But know that if you don't have this mark, right, you wouldn't be able to buy or sell. So now these people, in order to eat, to get stuff, they would have to go into that system. They would have to take that mark, right? They would have to take that mark. And when you look up that word mark, it goes back to the word charagma, which means to stick or imprint. A stamp, right? A badge, right? And that is what you have. To prove that you would be able to buy or sell, you would have to have this thing. In order to get food, in order to buy stuff, you would have to prove that you have this thing on here. So that is not where the mark coming. So how could that be sin? How could that be John 3:16? How could that be something spiritual? No, it has to be something physical. You have to take it. You have to prove. That is why when you read some of the articles with Klaus Schwab and some of these other elites, they're literally telling you, yo, if you don't have what it is we bring in here, you wouldn't be able to integrate with society. You would become an outcast because you wouldn't be able to function. You wouldn't be able to buy or sell, right? As a matter of fact, I might do back a video on that particular article, right? So this 21% here they would have to make a decision, right? Taking it or not taking it. And we know majority of these people outside here are going to take it, right? Say, here's wisdom, let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 666. So you see, in the times that we're in, right? We are the end. These prophecies are playing out, whether you like it or not. The time we're coming into, the decisions would have to be made. Is rather you serving the Lord, or you're serving this place, right? It's rather you die for the Lord or you're dying for this place. Because just know, if when you take that mark, you have judgment to receive from the Lord, right? So let me just finish up some of this article here. It says CEO John Outridge said it is important to reduce the number as increased financial inclusion is directly linked to a reduction in poverty and inequality. So you see how they're making it sound. They want to include everybody, but this is just the wicked speaking, right? They say financial inclusion provides opportunities for marginalized and low-income individuals to access formal financial services such as savings, credit, and insurance. So you see, to use your stuff, you would have to have this, right? They say by empowering them with the tools to manage their finances and invest in income-generating activities, financial inclusion can help lift people out of poverty and reduce economic disparities. Pointing to a study by credit card company MasterCard and TT and Jamaica, right? So that I was not mentioning Jamaica. They themselves was one of the first to talk about becoming well, I shouldn't say one of the first, because we was Trinidad was talking about it for how long, right? We have a law that states that, I think it's Act 21, that when this comes, people have to take it, right? We already have a law in it. Pass for it, right? They say Outridge said financial inclusion also promotes economic growth, as people can participate actively in the economy when they have access to financial services. So you see, they're already mentioning that, to participate in the economy, you would have to have this, right? It says excess dependence on cash transactions in the economies of both TT and Jamaica was slowing economic growth by stimulating informality, increasing fraudulent activities, and limiting financial inclusion. Hey, you see, the study argued that the TT economy could grow by an additional 3.5% if the country increased its electronic payments by 30% over 4 years. Hey, electronic payments, you know what we're heading into, right? Well, you know what we're heading into, and there are many other places, as I speak, many other places talking about becoming cashless right now, right? Hey, his prophecy is playing out, and we will see in that day, you would see who for the Lord and who not for the Lord. Because there are guys outside here that are teaching that the mark of the beast is sin. So you don't know these guys are going to take that mark, because they would want to be integrated into the system. They would want to give up the loss of this life, the loss of this place. They wouldn't want to give up that, right? So they would bring out a doctrine saying it's sin. The mark is sin. Is it right? Your hand is the God and your head is Satan, and all this sort of madness. Just because they don't want to give up that money in this place, right? So with that, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yehoshai, Ba'ashem Rekakodash. We say, Domnul Sapostan, Elos Agreemus, and Ruler, teachers of person in truth, and we say salutations, so the Akamas, push you with on the truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and a constantly incident, and we say, Shalom.